Here we are with the Royal Enfield 250 Continental GT again, and I've had the primary cover off because I noticed that when I pulled the clutch lever in on the handlebars, it wasn't quite coming back all the way to the bars before it went a bit hard, and I knew that I could probably back the adjuster off at the handlebar to stop that happening, but then I'd lose a lot of movement and end up with lots of free play in the clutch cable, and that's not really what you want, especially on these with their reputation for slippy, draggy clutches. So what I've done instead is I took the primary cover off and had a look at the clutch itself and watched it operating. And I've already done the job, but obviously I'll operate the lever now and you'll see how it moves there. It's got 3 pretty strong springs in it. There's various combinations that you can have on these. Sometimes you can have 6 springs, sometimes you can have 3. You can change from 3 to 6 or 6 to 3, whatever you want, and there's all sorts of different strengths and gauges of springs you can put in there, and these 3 are among the sort of pretty strong springs that you can get, I would say. And what happened, it obviously had new friction plates fitted, one of them of which I've removed here. The reason being the thickness of them. They made the stack of plates so thick that the pressure plate was running out of movement because the springs were going coil bound before it moved all the way or lifted as far as it could have done. So what I did is I took one of these plates out and put an old one in, which is obviously used and slightly worn and a bit narrower, and that has just given me the range of movement that I need to get the full spectrum of pressure plate lift. And I'll put the camera down, it's on a tripod, and we'll have a look hopefully in a moment. Let's see. I've got the machine in gear and I can operate the clutch. There it is, and we can see there we got nice even uniform lift on the pressure plate. There's no sort of waggling around, no high spots, no low spots. It's spinning and lifting nice and true, and we're getting a full range of movement, so that'll minimise any likelihood of clutch drag, and hopefully it won't introduce any slip either. So I've done that. Also, while I was in there, I've had a look and made sure, and we can see that the oil seal for the crank end feed in the primary cover is in good shape, and so is the rubber seal there, so that's good. I also took the opportunity to adjust the timing chain, which had quite a bit of slack in it, so that's sorted. I took up some slack in the primary chain as well, and I've also, importantly, while you're in there, earlier machines don't have this, but most of the later ones do. I decided that I'd have a look at the scavenge filter there, and that's come out pretty clean. There was the odd little bit of sort of gaskety material on it, nothing much, but importantly no metal filings or shavings. That's always a good sign. You do not want to be seeing them. So I can put this back in the little compartment it lives in and screw the nut, the cap nut that holds it in place, back on, and not have to worry about that. I'll have to top up the engine oil a little bit because that's what came out, and the primary drive shares its oil with the engine, so you never want to put anything like ATF into the clutch on these because it mixes with the engine oil and vice versa. So I'm about ready to put the cover back on, and then I'm going to remove that horrible strangling restrictive baffle from the end of the exhaust pipe, or the tail end of the silencer rather, and later on we'll have another ride on it and see how it goes. And I think with the baffle removed it ought to perform a lot better than it has done at the moment, up to date, and I think that the primary and timing chains being adjusted might get rid of what little, there was a bit of mechanical clatter there, not a lot, but I'm sure it'll be a little bit quieter mechanically as well. So I'm going to put the primary cover back on next, top up the oil again, and shortly, it's a very cold day but a nice day, we'll be able to go and have another ride on it and see how things go.